Finals for the Legacy Monthly. Is Plat gonna conquer his second victory in the second monthly as well, or is it gonna be Faiman who's defying all the odds and he will be coming up on top? We have a 𝗂𝗶𝗶 being locked in with Plat at the moment. 𝗬𝗏 being banned by Faiman and 𝗬𝗏𝗺 being banned by Plat here.
It's just so difficult for Faiman.
Yeah, I can already see it.
Such a strong team for Plat. I think potentially banning 𝗏𝗂 over 2-wire so that your 𝗬𝗶𝗍 has a chance to play. Because I think 𝗬𝗶𝗍 would be very important, but then 𝗬𝗏𝗺 just comes in and stops 𝗬𝗶𝗍 from being important, so who knows.
This is kind of where you call it an unfortunate matchup or really bad matchup, to be honest, because he looks really rough into this. He doesn't have wins. He has only 2 of them, one of which you can always say Plat is gonna ban it. And he has to take the second one in, otherwise it's gonna get banned as well. And then poison ticks are doing a lot of work for Plat as well in this scenario, right?
Yeah, I think 𝗧𝗵𝗆 is really good. If Yggdrasil hadn't been banned, then the Fire Tornado and Nid is really good, as well as Thunderstrike onto everybody would be solid. Gario, unfortunately, he's only going to be Cold Geyser-ing the 𝗏𝗂. Everybody else, he's better off clicking Soil Steam. But with Naga, he can do that first most of the time.
Let us see how the turn 1 goes. I mean, I am expecting probably a humiliating slap Faraday Cage, but it can be different. 𝗏𝗶𝗍 definitely doesn't like that Faraday Cage coming into its face. It might back out, but then Naga does not like that as well. Gario might take it well. But as we discussed, 3 poison ticks do not care about your typing. They are gonna hurt you anyways.
Yeah, and that's the biggest fear for 𝗧𝗵𝗆, truly. Like, sure, it might take the damage pretty well, but if it swaps in to 3 ticks of poison, and when it's already doing 50% to itself, that's just GG. Faraday Cage doing half on its own to this 𝗬𝗶𝗍. Stone Ball onto the 𝗏𝗂 does a little more than half as well, which means the same thing could be repeated to kill 𝗏𝗂. Although, I mean, 𝗬𝗶𝗍 down at 41% now, a Cyber Claw plus Toxic Tick might just be enough to kill.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it.
And now 𝗂𝗶𝗆 has its first water technique available as well, so 𝗬𝗏 already got poisoned, could start to take some water, another poison, another water, and things could spiral fairly quickly.
𝗏𝗂 being -1 speed might change the way this turn might go. Like, maybe it won't go before 𝗏𝗶10 this time around, but I'm not completely sure if -1 speed impacts that much, because after the changes, -1 speed is equal to half of what it was before, right? Like, you need -2 speed to go 1 tier down, if I'm not wrong right now.
Yeah, when compared to Prio, it does take 2, whereas before it would have only taken 1. So it is not detrimental. 𝗏𝗂 is pretty slow anyway, and 𝗏𝗶𝗍 is pretty fast, so I would imagine 𝗏𝗶𝗍 goes first. Especially with the -1, I think that if there was any chance of 𝗏𝗂's 3 Prio getting close, that would negate it. But 𝗏𝗶𝗍 doesn't even want to take the hit, just wants to leave, protect itself. Naga, not the one who wants to take the hit either, though. Cyber Claw does just shy of 50%, triggers Reactive Vial, so at the very least 𝗂𝗂𝗆 won't be fighting back as hard. But a Feather Calling onto 𝗂 is just not going to do anything as it triggers Reactive Vial, healing it back up to 70%. An Humiliating Slap onto 𝗬𝗏 means now it's going to be 55%, 56% with the Water Jet on the way. This is looking pretty sketchy for 𝗬𝗏.
Well, this is definitely not looking good for him, to say the least. Naga, on the other hand, might be okay, you can say, because of Reactive Vial, but I still don't know if it wants to stay in there.
I I think even with Reactive Isle, it's not really in a good spot. We saw earlier Plat's Molgu underspeeding Furies from Naga, so I think that it is a speed scuffed Molgu.
And it has -1 speed on top of it right now.
Yeah, so that Faraday Cage could potentially hit this Naga, knock it out of nullification, and allow a Toxic Ink to kill it. And then Yowler just feels incredible. Oh wait, no, yeah, Decidora, Toxic Ink goes first. But hey, you know, whatever. Faraday Cage onto the Gario, and a Fury to kill the Molgu, and do more damage to Kala because of that nullification.
That was a lot of value from that Naga coming in. But as you said, if it was a Faraday Cage or into Toxic Ink, or even the other way around, it would still have done a decent chunk of damage to the Naga, to be honest.
Yeah, I think if both hits had targeted Naga, then we'd be looking at a very different game right now. But Naga is still nullified, which means a clinch might still just kill it. A clinch plus Toxic Ink definitely kills it. Ooh, but Calibus retreating instead, doesn't want to do the double immediately. Nuxalotl swaps in. Start to tick down those holds. Clinch from Yowler. Naga's at 31. Oh, 0.3. The Psy-Search does hit Yowler, chunking it below 50%. And now the Soil Steam Yowler. This is not the fight you wanted to fight, my friend. Oh no. Naga does go down to the poison, but Yowler is at 18%.
The damage has been done. This is so hurting sometimes to see something live on 0.123% and then doing damage of up to around 40-50%. It just is like, you know, for that other player, it is like a redemption that Temtem just got all its value by attacking before dying. But for the other player, it's just so devastating that he just fell short by a little bit.
And the worst part is it wasn't necessary because Plat had other Tems that would have taken that hit perfectly fine.
That is so true. Feels bad, man.
Now, this Gario does need to have a little bit of speed investment in order to outspeed Yowler. But I would imagine it does. Faiman is definitely not afraid to put speed on things. Snrplat does go before Gario, though, which means Thunderstrike will kill Yowler before Gary has a chance. Oh, and a Clay Ball to drop the speed of Nox. With Tesla Prison and Clay Ball, I'm starting to see Faiman's game plan here a little bit better. Just slow everybody down.
Yeah, he's trying to like keep the momentum of the game around with the speed under control. You can always decide the flow of the match if you have the speed under control.
Another Thunderstrike from Snrplat onto this Calibus, not enough to kill immediately. Acid Reflux, it won't be killing anyone either, which means Gario could very well kill this Calibus. Earthbreaker with Electric Synergy. Oh boy, Calibus going down to one of the most beautiful techniques in the game.
It actually looks beautiful.
And now we know all of the techniques we never knew before. Does it have Relax? Does it have Double Edge? No, we just got Clay Ball and Earthbreaker.
Now we know. Well, can Nox and Mashuk make their way through 4 attempts, one of which is -1 defense? Not impossible, but not looking clearly possible as well. It still can though, actually, if you ask me, because they are not clearly weak to one of them as well, right? They are still... The Toxic Ticks do get the job done sometimes.
Yeah, the difficulty for Mashuk is going to be the stamina, of course. Minus speed on both Nox and Mashuk is a little bit tough, but Turok is still minus defense. Gary is getting pretty low on stamina and HP, and Obi's going to go down to a single attack from anybody.
I think for Obi to find a sweet spot to come in would be when one of them is out of stamina, exerted, and that's the perfect turn for Obi to come in.
I think Faiman thinks that that's now is the perfect time for Obi to come in, protect your Gary a little bit, get fake beard on your 𝗃𝗏, and just start to feather Gatling spam some toxic Temps. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 from 82 down to 29. Triggers Trance, which means there won't be an attack from Nox this turn. And that plus special defense just doesn't matter to 𝗃𝗏, who is faster than 𝗬𝗃 after just the 1 minus speed, but definitely after a potential 2 minus speeds. I think 𝗧𝗏𝗺's going down without doing anything.
Yeah, this is perfect kind of thing, because now he can bush, and it can also kill the 𝗧𝗏𝗺 in the same turn. And 𝗬𝗃 cannot do much because the bush is gonna just... Yeah, I think it's really hard for Plat to come back on this.
Low attack 𝗬𝗃. I think it's no attack 𝗬𝗃. So yeah, bush on Obi. I think he was even lower than this earlier, right? Because did he bush once earlier, or was that last game? I don't even...
It was last game.
It's all blending together. Feather Gatling onto 𝗧𝗏𝗺 to confirm the kill, and 𝗬𝗃 better have just rested. But no, clicked uppercut just in case, and it's not going to be so. Another uppercut does kill 𝗃𝗏, and does do quite a lot of damage to Gary.
𝗃𝗏 was faster.
But yeah, 𝗃𝗏 is faster, so that's a lot of damage. Now 𝗬𝗃 down at 53. And Obi can Digi-Threat or Plasma Beam, which is also going to be effective damage.
Definitely. Yeah, this 𝗬𝗃 probably cannot fight through everyone that's pending on the back end. I mean, if it had the stamina, maybe it could, but it still looks unlikely.
I think the biggest thing would have been 𝗧𝗏𝗺 surviving. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 being able to do anything to anybody would have made this a very different outcome. But no, Faiman, despite the odds, despite what looked like a pretty rough matchup in Pickman, has found himself the first victory over Plat all tournament long.
Going in for another match after this, we have a 2-hour ban coming in right away. And Tulkan ban as well. That was, I think it's pretty much the same bans again. 𝗂𝗀𝗶 is being insta-picked by Plat as well. Faiman is thinking at the moment on what to pick.
I mean, what he did last time kind of worked out, but I don't think that he can expect the 𝗏𝗂𝗽 again. It's possible 𝗏𝗂𝗽 is just really solid Tem, but without Common Factor being available, I don't think you want to pick 𝗏𝗂𝗽 into a 𝗧𝗏𝗺. So no, it is Nox instead. That means 𝗧𝗏𝗺 is unhappy with the toxic ticks, and Naga is just not happy living here.
I don't think Naga wants to stay in here at all. I think it might just back out. But again, if it stays in and it does the madness buff, takes the risk, I don't even know if it's actually completely worth it, because 3 Temps all locked in so far, all counter Naga with either Toxic Attack or Plague. Okay, make it all 5 Temps actually. They all counter Naga.
Yeah, Naga's never really been a good pick into Plat.
Yeah, this Naga is feeling pretty helpless right now. If Kino comes in, Kino is also taking the damage for sure from the toxic ticks. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 definitely, I mean, knowing Plat, he's definitely gonna apply toxic ticks on both sides, at least according to me. But let us see how it goes. Does he apply it on both sides or only one side?
Thunderstrike on the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 down to 68.4. And a Madness buff from Naga. That is so much damage now. And yeah, Toxic Ink on the Skara just ticks away and away and away.
The Madness buff was quite ballsy, I would say, to be honest. If it was a double limb, that would be a kill. Maybe, okay, maybe. Because with Nullified, I'm not sure how much a Toxic Ink would have done.
Plat definitely doesn't run attack on Kala, so it wouldn't have been a lot. I think that it would have still survived just barely, but I mean, what good does this really do, unfortunately, right?
Nothing.
You're gonna Psy Surge this turn and probably die, and if you survive, then 𝗂𝗵𝗺 just underspeeds you and kills you next turn.
Yeah, this is really looking bad for Faiman at the moment.
That is what we said last time, though.
Yeah. Well, he flipped it around last time, but this time it looks a bit unlikely because I might say that the most damaging Tems are out there right now and they are dying, and the passive supportive Tems like Kinu are on the back, which cannot inflict that much damage as last time, but let us see. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Obi and Kinu in the back is a bit rough. Even the Tyrannoc getting through for Plat this time, there's nobody really to fight that Tyrannoc. I think it would have to be Obi Digi-Threat Dooming, but yeah, that would work. That would work, because that's not a trait thing.
Yeah, it's a synergy. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so I think Obi Digi-Threat Doom is the only way to kill Tyrannoc. But in the meantime, Tyrannoc's just going to click Extinction, and that means there's no time to kill anybody else.
Yeah, Tyrannoc is basically a two... Well... Yeah, you're right. Tyrannoc can kill 2 times without having punishment, to be honest, because... it is problematic. This is a rough situation. I am kinda intrigued to see how he plays this out. As he goes for the swap, and he does go for that swap. Obi-10 will be making its way in again. The hold is off on Burrow, if it has Burrow, that is. Bush will be online 1 turn later.
And Psy Surge will do quite a lot of damage, but 𝗧𝗵𝗺, he's a bit of a bulky boy. He doesn't mind that damage. A Water Jet onto Obi. Lot of damage. And Plat wasn't expecting the attack on Nox, as he did just rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. Did Plat just rest on Nox? Because if you did like an acid reflux, it would have gone through.
That Water Jet was a fantastic read, though. I mean, the read, sure, it would have killed 𝗧𝗵𝗺 too, but doing almost 50% to Obi is incredible value for Plat.
Definitely. Couldn't get more. I mean, when a team like 𝗂𝗵𝗺, who's mostly built around like fully tanky, does 50% damage to something, I always think it's doing a good job, you know? It's getting its value for yourself, for your team.
Yeah, when a wall does damage. Oof.
Yeah.
But now it is Obi and Kinu, and Tyrannoc coming in. If this is a Digi-Threat on that Tyrannoc. Kinu does take a Toxic Ink for its troubles, but with the OX and a Digi-Threat, but it's on 𝗂𝗵𝗺, which means that at least 1 more turn, Kinu has to survive. 2 more turns, actually, because Tyrannoc will have Flaming Meteorite. There's no way to Digi-Threat Doom this Tyrannoc now.
Yep. The talisman is so much value at the moment. That talisman will completely nullify that doom. There is no doom applied.
Oh my... Yeah, you know...
Looks like...
I get it. I get it, Faiman. I didn't even think about the talisman. You could have never doomed that Tyrannoc.
Yup, they are already
It's best of 5?
No, best of 3.
Or, oh wait,
It's
Faiman won
1-1.
the first one. I thought the Plat won.
No. Faiman, defied the odds. He broke the streak, 10-1. So Plat is at 11-1 now. And this will be the final match, deciding who is taking this match away. The same bans again. We see 𝗬𝗺 and 𝗬𝗀𝗺 being banned. Well,
so I think Faiman has learned if you don't ban Tyrannoc, you need to bring Yggdrasil.
Yep. Looks like he might just ban the Tyrannoc, but his mouse is over the Yggdrasil. I think it's just the default position of the mouse or the cursor. He's thinking at the moment. I think Tyrannoc is a good ban, to be honest, considering it has talisman. And if your win condition is around dooming stuff, then you better just go with that. But he didn't go with that because I guess 𝗬𝗺 is banned, right? So there might be no doom applied from his side at least.
But Yggdrasil was left.
Yes.
If Tyrannoc had been picked, I think it would have just been GG.
Yeah, because he could extension and then Faiman had no answer.
Yeah, Faiman doesn't have anyone that can hurt Tyrannoc.
And that as well.
Other than maybe like a Nox Bomb on Turok, it's just going to be a bunch of neutral damage in which Tyrannoc is dealing just as much with its plagues and embers and extinctions. We are kind of back to what Plat was doing best before, though, and that's the 𝗂𝗵𝗵 Mulgu lead. You get ticks on one, and you Faraday Cage for ticks on the other. Toxic Ink onto 𝗬𝗵𝗺 means that the Faraday Cage is looking at Naga. Thunderstrike does hit this Mulgu first, but we've seen it before. We know it doesn't die in one. 35% remaining. The Beta Burst does underspeed this time, but it's still not enough to kill this Mulgu, the bulky boy. Will Faraday Cage this poor Naga will trigger 3 ticks of poison, but will also trigger Reactive Vial, which makes Naga at least a little bit healthier.
3 ticks of poison is 37.5%. With 2 ticks left now, it's 25%. So effectively, the HP left on the Naga is, I guess, 18.2%. One Cyberclaw should be enough, but since Deceit Aura is active, Cyberclaw is not gonna go first. Maybe Plat just wants to swap the Mulgu out right now. For Nox, Mayshuk, he has choices, but Mayshuk does not like to take that hit from Naga. We have a Humiliating Slap coming in.
𝗬𝗵𝗺 down to 27 and a double edge on 𝗬𝗵𝗺. We've seen this one before too. And the Thunder Strike on 𝗬𝗵𝗺. Is Mulgu gonna survive again? Mulgu survived last time.
Is he gonna live that again is the question.
Reactive Vial triggered on 𝗬𝗵𝗺, meaning essentially there was no damage dealt there. But no, the Beta Burst will be targeting the Mulgu, making sure that that Faraday Cage is gone. And then Naga outlives the one Tem that it really wanted to beat. Well, okay, never mind. I guess there's a Yali here too.
Well, Kinu can sort of deal with 𝗬𝗺, but there's 3 Toxics waiting on the field. That's unlikely.
Oh,
Okay.
DA is still here, and Naga has Psy-Surge available, so I think Nox is coming in.
Most likely, I mean, and probably a Toxic Ink on the other side.
Clinch, we've already seen Clinch on Naga. I don't think it did 30. I think that Naga was lower than that before and Clinch didn't kill.
Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure it was It does something around 20, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember damages from before. I just know that we've seen this particular Yowler clinch this particular Naga and not kill it.
Maybe with comebacker, I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was comebacker or not.
It wasn't beforehand.
Yep, but anyways, looks like Nox will be coming up. 𝗧𝗵𝗺 digging a hole for himself to hide. We have a side surge coming in on that. 𝗧𝗵𝗺 will be taking it down to 73.2%. Toxic Ink will be avoided by 𝗧𝗵𝗺. Turn number 4 about to begin. The 𝗧𝗵𝗺 still online. Last turn for the 𝗧𝗵𝗺. Naga on very low stamina. Probably either do a suicide right now or just back out of here.
It could back out because it is... I don't know. It could potentially still hit Yowler in the future.
Yep, that is true.
Otherwise, even though the Tem advantage is with Faiman, the HP advantage is well with Plat. 𝗧𝗵𝗺 and Naga both deep in that red, 15-18% respectively. And Plat just kind of
really
doing
rough.
his thing. I mean, this is the exact team that Plat wants when he wins, right? The 𝗂𝗶𝗆 Molgu, the Mashuk Nox to stare and P-jab, the Yowler to take advantage of the stares and P-jabs.
Yeah, he has a perfect lineup going right now, at least in this match, and he's looking pretty strong if you ask me.
𝗬𝗄 taking place of the Beetle. With autonomy, it's gonna... I mean, well, now that Nox is leaving, it won't take damage this turn. Yowler finds itself back on the field as Toxic Ink underspeeds Naga, not having Psy Surge available, and confirms that kill. For quite a big OX, though. I wasn't expecting that. 79 to 74 on a Toxic Ink.
I think maybe, well, he can't really bring Turok in right now because Yovlar can definitely Oshidashi the Turok out. 𝗬𝗄, same scenario, but 𝗬𝗄 is already in there. It has evasion. Kinu looks like a good call because 𝗂𝗵𝗆 is out of stamina and most likely be a swap on that location. So I think Kinu might be a good decision. What do you think?
I think that this is a good time for Kinu, because I also think 𝗬𝗄 is probably who you want getting that buff. So it is Kinu, give the Protector buff to 𝗬𝗄, and then this turn you can pretty safely double in to Yowler. I doubt that it would take Nox all the way into Trance from a Soil Steam and Beta Burst. But it kind of depends on the Kinu. If this Kinu has a lot of special attack, then it may.
Sounds like a Kinu with a gun. The Yovlar just back, so I guess we will find out if that is a double end that we talked about.
Just a double swap instead. Beta Burst from this Kinu knocks a little 73 down to 56, and Clayball 38%, no trance, no first aid kit, and minus speed.
If I'm not wrong, Turok can one-shot this right now, right? With the Feather Gatling? I don't remember if it was 40% last time we saw it, or was it 35%?
I think that Turok did like 55%.
Well, in that case, it's clear.
Yeah, of course, Turok is swapping in. Hypnosis from Kinu means Mashuk can't do anything about it. And an Acid Reflux, not going to do too much to Turok, although Kinu doesn't like the damage. does still have really high special defenses, so it's okay.
This is where 𝗹𝗶𝗺 can come in, but again, it's not gonna have a good time against Akinu. But it still depends on how tanky the 𝗹𝗶𝗺 actually is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Last time, I don't think Naga had Madness buffed, or did it? I don't think it did, and it still did about half to 𝗹𝗺.
Actually surprised, 𝗧𝗲𝗺 did not swap out, 𝗬𝗏 did not attack the 𝗧𝗲𝗺 slot, 𝗬𝗠k actually being awakened here. This is quite a series of turns. I did not expect to be going this way. And Plat actually rested with 𝗬𝗠k, did not attack. Knowing that, well, 𝗬𝗏 was faster than 𝗬𝗠k, in case it gets attacked, you know, 𝗬𝗠k could have gotten an attack out. It was quite confusing. Did he think that...
Yeah, he did think he knew. It was still poisoned from the reflex, so there were no more ticks.
I see. The 𝗬𝗠k just moved first. Light cube 𝗬𝗠k is slower than 𝗬𝗏. We found it, I think, in the last match.
That was after a clay ball.
Ah, fair enough.
Oh,
Okay,
but 𝗬𝗠k survives on one.
Damn, Plat using the numbers in his favor, 0.3% on that 𝗬𝗠k.
I mean, now 𝗬𝗠k can die, and Nox could die if it stays in. If that were to happen, I still think Plat is in a decent situation, because 𝗹𝗺 and 𝗬𝗏 are just so tanky against this field. 𝗧𝗵𝗆 dies to a single hit from anybody.
I mean,
𝗬𝗏 doesn't die to a Thunderstrike right now.
If he doesn't die from a hit, well, toxic ticks are always taking care of business for Plat, as usual.
Yeah, and then 𝗬𝗏 trying to bang its head into a base 100 defense 𝗬𝗏 is not going to be very productive.
And well, 𝗹𝗺 is always there to Oshidashi both 𝗬𝗏 and Garyu out of the stadium. This looks very, very unlikely, to be honest, for him to come back into at the moment, at least. The 𝗬𝗠k is still alive. Maybe Garyu decides to attack it, and yes, it will. It will clean up that 𝗬𝗠k. It will be going down. Looks like it will be a 𝗬𝗏 𝗹𝗺 versus a 𝗬𝗏 and a Garyu. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 still on the back.
𝗹𝗺 did not take enough damage from that Feather Gatling for Faiman to stand a chance, in my opinion. Another Feather Gatling onto 𝗬𝗏 from 74 down to 42. I mean, just hard eats those. Hibernate from 𝗹𝗺 just because you can. Flex on him.
Damn, dude.
And the clay ball is a good thing for 𝗹𝗺, because now his savage suplexes are more likely to trigger comebacker.
Yeah, this 𝗹𝗺 is just chilling right now. He's doing what he wants to do. Nothing is stopping him. Oshidashi looks pretty free on that Garyu, but I am assuming he might want to kill the 𝗬𝗺 first. So we might see a clinch here, or a suplex followed by 𝗬𝗏 swapped into a 𝗧𝗲𝗺 to take the Thunder Strike.
So I don't think that this 𝗹𝗺 has Oshi. Yeah, because it's clinch, savage, hibernate, and show off. We did see a show off earlier, right?
You're right, actually. In that case, yeah. We will see a suplex, I guess.
Thunderstrike. 𝗹𝗺 just doesn't care. And that guarantees the clinch will kill. Cold Geyser from 52 down to 25. Okay. There is still an Oxalotl in the back, though.
Which is definitely gonna deal with. Oh well, here we go. Good old classic Toxic Ticks coming in. 12.5%, another one gone, another one coming in next turn. Hibernate is online if 𝗂𝗚 wants to use it. I'm not sure if Kerio can kill before Hibernate goes through.
Yeah, he definitely can. But it still is GG. There was no way for for Faiman to deal with the Noxolotl and the Calavis.